on track. Jasmine is already in the room, but he's in the backstage. And I hope that I'm in the company of some amazing LinkedIn creators. So make sure that you are taking notes throughout today's session. And yeah, let's hold on to our seats. And this session will also be live streamed. So in case somebody is sitting with their uh, in clothes that they are not the proudest of, you might want to change. And if you want to be on camera, please do, because I would love to see all of your faces, right? I'll also be on camera in a bit. So please be made aware of that. I'm excited to see all of you. Um, but yeah, we'll start in maybe 10 or 15 minutes. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this session. We'll start in a bit. Again, gentle reminder for the couple of hundred people who joined maybe the last few minutes. Do not leave the room once you're inside the Zoom class because you might not be able to join in if it overflows for some reason, which it might eventually. We usually see our peak 15 minutes after starting. So the peak is usually around 9:40, 9:45. And if you are in before that, kudos to you. But once you are in, and if you see that the participant count is reaching 900 plus, please do not leave the room. Under any circumstance, you'll not be able to enter again. All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's session. I'm extremely excited to host all of you. I am so thrilled that finally Jasmine has agreed to take a session. But am I pronouncing his name wrong? Oh my God, I am still in the desert. Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. I was just having some fun with my boyfriend. I was just changing. How do I change this back? Okay, now this is getting awkward. Yasmin. All right, got it. But he never corrected it last time. Um, how do I change this background? I will try to do it as soon as I can. Otherwise, you guys just think that I'm in Dubai or something. Yeah, I found it. I don't know how to close this. I'm so sorry, it's not working for me. But guys, just stick around for a while, and maybe when he is sharing his insights, I'll try to change this from the AI companion to I'm pretty handicapped technically. For the business I have, it's a shame. But hello, everyone, and welcome to today's exclusive session with Yasmin. I will start recording this because I know that all of you ask me for the recording all the time after his sessions because so many of you also miss it. So yeah, let me turn on the recording. And yes, so firstly, let me introduce Yasmin to all of you who do not know about him. If you are not on LinkedIn, probably, or if you've been living under a rock, or you don't know him that well just as yet, maybe because you're new to social media, but that is extremely unlikely. But he is probably the most premium creator you can find on LinkedIn. Okay, he's an absolutely extraordinary influencer. If you've been anywhere near LinkedIn, you have come across his posts. more than one time, I'm pretty sure. His amazing content. I think there's very few profiles that have more than likes, comments more than likes on their profile. And his is definitely one of them, which has a very simple strategy. He makes time to reply to all of them, which is something I'm going to ask him about. We are talking about the man, the myth, the legend, Yasmin Alec. And he is not just a content creator. I also think he is extremely good at learning strategies and then creating strategies from scratch, which is something we need to learn, right? In our industry, if you learn a skill and everyone knows the same strategy, it becomes mainstream and then no one gets results. So that's something I'm excited to talk to him about. But what truly sets him apart, in my opinion, is his dedication to helping others succeed. And of course, I'm sure that brings a lot of success his way. So, guys, please welcome on the floor Yasmin Alec. Yasmin, you have co-host access. I think you would be able to unmute too.
Hello, everyone. How's it going? Good evening. Can
By the
everyone hear me? Just check in if you can hear me, if the audio is okay.
everyone can hear you, but
Awesome.
they'll be texting. And Yasmin, you have been here with us before. Just to introduce us,
I have?
yes, you have. And we're so grateful to have you. I remember the last time you took a session, everyone wanted you the very next week. But I'm so glad we are finally doing this. And also, I would like to introduce you to our community once again. We are Freelance 101 Academy. We're a big group of freelancers from India ready to make global impact. I think we Indians are amazing at our work. We are guided to become the best service people. India is amazing at its services. And LinkedIn is definitely the place to be if we want to be amazing in providing services across the globe. So we are excited to learn from you about how to leverage LinkedIn for our work, how to become top class creators like yourself and use that to create our businesses online, and so many more things. So yeah, excited to have you here. And yeah, if there's anything that you want to orient the class with, do let me know. Otherwise, we'll head right into the questions I have for you, which is a lot of them.
Okay, well, I was ready to say yes because you said you had questions, but that part, I have a lot of them. That part scares me. How
No,
many do you have?
quite a few. And I don't think that if you stick around, I think this will go on for 20 hours or something, because I know
Yeah,
everyone has so many questions for you. But I've
just so you
conducted.
know, just so you know, also, sorry to interrupt. I do have a hard cap at around 1 hour here because I have another event to go to, another community event. So 1 hour, one ish, 5, 10 minutes. That's where I'll genuinely have to go. So let's make the best of it. Let's just
Absolutely.
skip all the intros and let's dive into it. Honestly. Hello, everyone, again. And yeah, let's see if we can learn something, improve something, maybe even create something new. Who knows? Let's go.
I'm sure. Okay, the first question that I have for you, I think it's the most important question in today's market. We learn a lot about distribution from you. You have an amazing LinkedIn audience, lots of followers. You're also really skilled at what you do. Even before you had any social presence, I believe you were extremely good at writing, copywriting very specifically. You were teaching at a university. And versus that, also now you've kind of tweaked it to serve your audience online. I'm not sure what is happening, who is sharing this. Okay. Uh, okay. So my question to you is, what's more important, distribution, skill, or productizing it into a service? And how do you balance the three?
Well, here's the thing. I always say that on social media, especially on LinkedIn, you genuinely don't need to be that experienced to start posting. You can be a student fresh out of college. You could be a student fresh out of high school, and you can start posting on LinkedIn. I feel like I remember that quote from last session. I think it was with your community, Saheli. And I said, you don't necessarily need to start posting about the things that you've learned years ago. Just start posting the things that you learn daily. Like, how many posts do you actually read per day on LinkedIn? When you're scrolling through your home feed, how many things click with you? How many things, how many topics, problems, issues, rants that people are publishing resonate with you, right? So many. The answer is many. Take those and write a post about them. If you're scrolling through the LinkedIn feed and someone is talking about, oh, you should not be spending 5 hours commenting every single day, that's a post. What are your thoughts about it? If you feel like I spend an hour because it works for me, because it brings me new followers, because it brings me new clients. There's your post immediately. You already have a hook. You already have three main benefits. Now all you need is an ending, right? So I feel like for me, it's a mixture of everything. If you're talking distribution versus what was it, skill versus service, right? I feel like skill comes last, genuinely, on social media. And this is so true. Like you have people who are even like take myself as an example. You have people who have 10 years, 15, 20 years less experience than I do, and they're making more money than I am, which is the reality of, social media in 2024. That's just how it is. But I feel like the way you package that from a content perspective is, what do I want to do? Who do I want to help? And what do I want to be known for? And I always go backwards because that part, what do I want to be known for? That's usually your why. A lot of people follow that line of questioning in that order, but it should be reversed. You should start with your why. Like, why are you doing what you do? Why? What's your reason? For me, that reason is simple. I genuinely just want to help people. I just want to see people win. And it's easy when you know that's your goal, that's your why, that's what drives you, that's what motivates you. So then it comes into the content conversation. What sort of things do I post about if my goal is to help as many people as possible? The answer for me was simple: everything. Just share everything. Because I want people to win, because I want folks to have this knowledge that I now have, that I've accumulated over the last 15 plus years. I'm just going to share it all, post by post, bit by bit. And that brings me to the big sort of driver of everything I do on social media, and I preach it left and right. And a lot of people have a problem with it, but that's okay. That's what makes you authentic. I always say that you should share 100% of your knowledge on social media. Not 98, not 99%, 100% of it. Why? Because you truly can never really share all of it at once. It may take years to share everything you know. And even at that point, you will have learned new things and new things. Here's the gripe people usually have with me saying share everything. And they're like, well, what do I leave to my paying clients? I'm like, chill, chill, just take a step back, right? Let's take a look at how we post content. What do you actually share in one post? What is the formula per post? My formula is one post, one topic, one big message. Never more. Never two topics, never more messages than one. Why? Because it genuinely makes it harder for people to consume your content. I'll give you an example, right? So, Haley, if you were to write a post about commenting, there's a million different topics about commenting, right? The timing, who, where do you comment? What sort of comments do you leave? How do you take the conversation further? How do I get comments on my post? These are all different topics. Just pick one. Per post, just pick one. And then let's go further. Whenever you pick just one topic, let's say we're going to go quantity, right? How many comments per day is good? How many comments should you leave? how many really how many messages can you actually cram into that? There's so many again, right? It's not quantity, it's quality over quantity, right? But then you should tell people, you should have a daily goal, right? You should stay consistent. Let's say minimum 20 comments per day. But then it's around how many do I do in the morning? How many do I do in the evening? Or how many do I do on big influencers post? How many do I do? You see, these are all different big messages. Imagine if we crammed all that into one post. That post wouldn't be strong. That post genuinely wouldn't be strong because more value doesn't mean more information. That's a big misconception on social media. More value means very applicable posts. That's what more value means. So limit yourself to one post and that one topic and that one big idea. And then write about it again with the next big idea. Write about it again with the next big idea. How many times have you seen me publish about commenting? A million different times, but every single time the message, the big actionable item is different. Every single time. How many times have you seen me talk about my dear son writing method? But every single time the message is different, right? You can take the same topic. Sure, you should be repeating yourself, but don't ever have the same post over and over again. So just, long story short, I feel like the question was a bit broad. So I really hope people don't get mad at me for giving a long answer. If
No,
I would have to sort of have a hierarchical order of what comes first, distribution, skill, and service, skill definitely comes last for sure. And I would say that your service impacts everything, how you engage with people. But ultimately, if you're not there, if the distribution is not there, if you're not publishing content, you can't even service them. So I would say publishing content first, but then make sure that because you're publishing, you're actually providing a great service, a great experience. I would use that word instead of service to your audience, to your community. So publish first, meaning be there. But once you are there, then be as positive, be as uplifting, be as valuable as possible to your audience. And the last bit is really you improving your own skills because ultimately, because you're posting and you're putting yourself out there, because you're showing up as a really positive, really valuable person of influence for everyone around the world, people are now going to want to work with you, right? So it means that you need to work on your skill, not necessarily for your content, but for the business side of things. So hopefully that was a good answer. I don't know. You tell me.
that's an amazing answer, and I think that's also gonna arouse a lot of conversations. So, guys, if you agree with him that skill comes last, amazing. Do post about it. But also, if you disagree with him, you can still post about him with your logic. You know, whenever you attend sessions of experts like him or other people as well, you don't have to always agree with certain things, but you have to facilitate your critical thinking. And talking about critical thinking, Yasmin, we've seen that you often go against a lot of trends. We have often seen that you devise your own strategies about networking, about commenting, about posting even. And then it kind of becomes mainstream because then you talk about it so much at so many events, and there's thousands of people now doing the same thing as you. How do you deal with that? How do you deal with being popular on a scale that what you set becomes a trend and then it's mainstream? How do you come up with new things constantly?
I feel like that's a great question, Saheli. I don't know. I'm just someone who likes to push myself first and foremost. Like, I feel like I am my own biggest critic, and I genuinely do not care what everyone else is doing out there. Is that advice that I would tell to all of you here? Probably not. I know that I'm in a unique position on social media specifically. We're just talking about how you show up on social media, okay? I'm not talking about what you know, your education, your experience. No. So I posted about this, I think, last week, and I said, I've been writing for 12 years online before I actually wrote my first LinkedIn post. So 12 years of experience working with everyone and their mother, all the big clients, Fortune 500, millionaires, billionaires. And then I came to LinkedIn because I felt like I know so much and I have so much to share. So for me, it was like, I don't genuinely just want to see what everyone else is doing because I didn't want to feel like how do I say it? Non-expert, if that made sense. Because at that stage, I was like, I know I can do this better, right? I know I have something unique, and it doesn't matter how I do it. I'm hoping, and in my mind, I was saying, I know it will resonate with other people out there. And today, I genuinely follow the same exact strategy. And I'll give you a few very tangible examples. Late 2022, I think, November 2022, ChatGPT was launched. Everyone and their mother was talking about AI, ChatGPT, to the point where LinkedIn themselves were pushing AI content. If you just use the word ChatGPT in your post, the post could have been about pizza or hamburgers. Just use the word ChatGPT November 2022, your reach goes up. That was the deal. That's what's been going on the platform. And everyone started sort of pivoting. Everyone started talking about AI. Everyone started talking about ChatGPT. They started posting infographics. They started posting about AI tools. Meanwhile, their business was entirely about something else. You see how there's a disconnect here? You're chasing a trend. You're chasing what's working for other people. That's not necessarily what's going to work for you and your business. It may work really well, spectacularly well for them. And to make the paradox worse, it may work spectacularly well for you because the algorithm is kind of pushing those topics. But is it really good for your branding? And is it really good for your business? Then you got to go back to those main questions that we were asking: why, what, and who, right? What are you known for? If your business is, being a fitness guru, you're a nutritionist. What the hell is your business posting about AI and AI trends? That post may go viral, but now you're just attracting a super wrong audience. You're attracting so many people who will never care about you or your business or your content because your content is not going to be AI. So that's paradox number one. People chasing sort of the shiny object syndrome, right? The big algorithm hack at the moment. And there's always algorithm hacks at a given point in time. Next thing I really want to talk to you guys about is being open about your opinions. Like Saheli just said, you don't necessarily have to agree with what the big influencers are saying. You can just do your own thing. I feel like everyone should invest 90% of their time into commenting. Other people, other LinkedIn coaches, specifically other competitors of mine, they feel like you should be investing 90% of your time into DMs. But then I have my own arguments. They got their own arguments. And two people can be right at the same time. I'm not saying their approach is wrong. They're not saying my approach is wrong. We just have different preferences. So, which one do you choose? Which one do you choose? Right? That's the big question. And everyone will have a different answer here. But let's go and flip that on its head. What are you going to choose for your own content? Are you going to start sounding like Yasmin and everything he says and you're just going to repeat, repeat, repeat? Or do you feel like, yeah, he's kind of right, but here's what's been working for me. And that's what I've done in my content. Even though people were saying DMs 90% of the time, I was like, why would I be investing my time into DMs when I can just comment for 30 minutes and get way more reach? And I genuinely do not have to reach out to people. People come to me. People reach out to me only because of my quality posts and quality comments. And my question was, what's easier? And then a lot of people will, come to my side. They will see that that part is working. For some other people, the commenting bid will not work just because they don't have quality comments or quality content, so on and so forth. This is all to say, second point here, choose what works for you and do not necessarily just follow the big influencer steps, including mine. I'm telling you that directly, including mine, because what worked for me may not necessarily work for you. And third thing, please never post and ghost. I feel like this doesn't get talked about enough. The term post and ghosts on social media exists for a reason. It means if you're going to publish a post today, be there. Be there to respond to comments. Be there to react to what people are saying. I'll give you an example. How many times have you commented on someone's post? Doesn't matter what the follower count is. How many times have you have you gone to a post and you left a really good comment and you never got a response? Once, okay, I get it. The person didn't have time. They may have gotten, overflown with comments, okay. But if you do it 10 times in a row and you never get a response, to make matters worse, like in my community, in my LinkedIn posts, I've sort of cultivated this culture of everyone stick together, everyone comment. Don't just reply to my post, go and leave replies to other people's comments. So even though you may not get a response from me because I get like thousands of comments on every post, you will almost certainly get a reply from someone else. People will come to you. And that's the point of a comment. It isn't to get the response from the author of the post. It's to get a response, period, to get noticed by other people. It's not about the authors of the posts. It's about everyone in the network who's viewing that same post. And I feel like that's where a lot of people get it wrong when it comes to comments. You're only commenting for the author and you're waiting for their response, right? But that shouldn't have to be the case. When you leave a comment on a post, are other people coming to your comment? Are they leaving a reply? That's when you know your stuff that you're sharing is not just attractive to one person, it's actually attractive to a whole lot of other people. This is all to say, don't post and ghost. And it goes for both your own posts and it goes for comments you leave on other people's posts. Never do that. This is how you build a great community, guys. I feel like the question naturally arises then, oh, sure, but I'm not getting any comments on my posts. right? I'm publishing posts, but I may get one or two comments. What do I do then? Do the other thing. Go and be there for other people. Go and be present in as many freaking comment sections as possible. It's the only way. Because how are people going to learn about you? Just think about this from a psychological perspective, guys. You have a lot of friends, you have a lot of family members, right? Some people love phone calls. On the other end, some people love video calls, not phone calls, video calls specifically. On the other end, you have people who are texters only. They will never respond to your call, they will never call you. It's the same thing on social media. If you're expecting comments, go be where the commenters are. Go leave hundreds of comments. If you're expecting DMs, go and DM people. As simple as that, right? But it won't happen without you doing it first. You genuinely have to be out there and you have to get noticed first. And the easiest way to get noticed on LinkedIn isn't by doing content, isn't by sending DMs. It's by commenting a lot in loads of different networks, loads of different countries, loads of different regions and different industries and different people. That's how you get noticed. I'll stop it right there because I felt like that was another really long answer.
No, but we're here for it because I think that gives so many nuanced perspectives. And I think one of the things that people get very wrong is when they ask you a question in the comments or even anywhere, right? Every answer is so nuanced. Like, what's the right way to comment? It's ABC, but then this, but then that, right? So please try to absorb everything Yasmin is saying. And that brings me to my next question for you, which is very specific to LinkedIn, which is what are the key elements that will make our profile stand out to our potential clients and collaborators? I see that you keep experimenting with your banners, you keep experimenting with the text that you have. I recently noted that you've added available for one-on-one coaching and I think speaking gigs. So I thought that's a very cool way to, just invite more people to put in their queries, right? So what are the things we must have on our LinkedIn profile?
Okay, so instead of telling you about it, I'll show you. Okay,
Yep,
so let me share my screen and do let me know if you can see my profile. So I'm scrolling. Can you see my profile?
yes, we can.
Okay, awesome. So I'm going to walk you through a really quick profile optimization study. And I do have loads of data on this, by the way. I've done a whole lot of back-end testing. I'm not going to get into the data right now because it's not relevant to just dive into every single metric. I'll just give you the conclusions, okay? What is the first thing that a person notices when they are on your profile? I'm specifically highlighting the on your profile part. They will notice this, the two most visual elements. And I have the data to back this up. Okay. So people will notice the two most visual elements on your profile, and they are the profile, photo, and the banner, most specifically the banner. So is someone typing something here or I have no idea.
I'll disable it.
Okay. There we go. If you can, there we go. Awesome. I'll just stop screen sharing for a second and then we'll come back. So whoever that was, come on, guys, behave. Okay, going back. So in your banner, make sure that you're doing three things. Okay. First things first, make sure that whatever you're saying in the banner has a direct connection to your offer. To your offer. Don't go around the topic, go directly into the topic. I'll give you an example of what it means to I'll give you an example of what it means to do around the topic, right? Versus inside the topic. So you'll see a whole lot of folks saying stuff like enabling marketing teams to capitalize on their full potential. And it's like, what does that even mean? What does that even mean? Right? You're doing everything around the topic. Guys, come on, whoever is doing
By
this,
the way,
this is
Yasmin, I think you'll have to turn off the annotation from your screen. It's not coming in for me. So it should be right under the three dots. There will be an option called disable annotation for others.
Okay, so
You
let me do
find
that
out?
really quickly. Come on, guys.
Yeah, it happens in my sessions too, but I think you don't get the option when you're not the one sharing.
Okay, so hopefully it's disabled now. Okay, there we go. Take three. So do not do those ominous, as I call them, headlines where you're saying something, but it doesn't really mean anything, right? Enabling marketing teams to capitalize on their full potential. What the heck does that mean? What does it mean? Genuinely, what does it mean? But if you tell me coaching marketing teams to use Sales Navigator like a pro or like pros, then that immediately ties into a business, a service. It means you are a Sales Navigator trainer. Sales Navigator meaning the LinkedIn tool. On my end, I am a LinkedIn coach slash business coach for folks. And for me, it's very easy because a whole lot of people need to learn about LinkedIn first. That's what I am telling them. Learn how to build your brand and your business on LinkedIn, specifically, as simple as that. And my headline ties into that directly, but I'll speak about the headline after the fact. Just focus on the banner right now. So make sure that whatever you're saying is the main thing about your offer. As clear as day, do not use any fancy language, any fancy jargon, none of that. Forget about it. And try to use, always try to, okay? There's different ways to do this, but if you have any sort of social proof, even just one testimonial, use it in your banner. Use it. Use any type of social proof. Social proof is great. Why? Because when you really think about it, you could be posting social proof posts left and right, right? Every single week, you post a testimonial. But for a random visitor on your profile, they may not be familiar with every single post you published. All they know is the thing that they see right here, right now, the banner, the profile. So make sure you put at least some sort of social proof in the banner. For me, I have 2 points. I have the number of folks that I'm teaching and coaching that are learning with me on LinkedIn, and the featurettes slash media slash clients. But there's a really huge missed opportunity for a lot of people in their banners. That part is mentioning a call to action, including a call to action. Now, there's three ways you can really include a call to action: a very soft one, a very sort of precise one, and a really aggressive one. For me, it is a softer one because I genuinely get booked out months in advance and I don't need that many clients, right? If I did need clients right away yesterday, I would put something like DM me if or join my coaching program today, 3 spots left, right? That has urgency inside of it. Or I would say DM me and then a keyword, blah, blah, blah about my offer. But for me, it's very soft right here. It says available for one-on-one coaching and live training. Why? Because that's the type of positioning I want to have. I don't want to sound like I'm desperate for clientele. In my case, it doesn't necessarily even have to mean desperate. It just means that I'm openly available. I don't want to be openly available because I can't take that many clients on. We're genuinely getting booked out months in advance. So I want to take the client onboarding process slowly. Okay. Now, what that's going to be for you, whether you're going to do a softer call to action or a more aggressive one, totally up to you. But neither is wrong. Okay. Whatever you choose, it's not the wrong choice. Even if you say, right, sign up for my one-on-one coaching, only 3 spots left in May, or in this particular case, only 3 spots left in July. That's totally fine. But just remember, you're doing the thing that positions you in your offer. For me, I want to be positioned as someone who's in high demand. And your call to action genuinely says that out loud. If you're telling people, DM me this, DM me that, DM me this, DM me that in every single post, in every single comment, in every single banner, infographic that you post, you kind of can sound desperate. So don't do it all the time, guys. Do it sometimes. Don't do it all the time. Okay. I get the appeal, but don't do it all the time. Just think about how it positions you. especially in your banner and then inside your content. So, banner, clear, unique value proposition, social proof, and mention your call to action. Always mention your call to action. That being said, your call to action, this is crucial, by the way, on every profile. Your call to action should be mentioned in three key places. Those three key places are number one, the banner. We just covered it. Number two, the blue link. Okay. The link itself right here. And let me stop right here and let me talk about this particular thing. If you are on LinkedIn Premium, LinkedIn has added these custom buttons that are predetermined. They're pre-worded. They're saying things like schedule an appointment, um, request services, sign up for my newsletter, or something like that. There's three or four options in total. The value proposition that LinkedIn is saying about that particular button is it's going to show up in the home feed right below your headline 24/7. So let me go back to the home feed and let me show you what that looks like. Hopefully we'll find someone who does use that feature in their headline. So let me scroll further. Yeah, LinkedIn is glitchy, obviously. When isn't it? Hey, Hermosi, how's it going? Okay, John, anyone using the headline? Okay, there we go. Anna, visit my website. Okay. Now here's the problem, guys. If you were to work with Anna, right, and you don't know her, the thing you would do is you would go to her profile, right? And you would check out, you will learn more about what she's doing. And then you would see the banner, see how noticeable the banner is. This is the first place you look. But here's my question. Where did the visit my website button go? It got lost. It got lost in the UI of LinkedIn. Why? Because LinkedIn made a terrible mistake. And I've measured this. I've measured the number of clicks that a button that is very much hidden, this is the button. But see, this button that is very much highlighted in the home feed isn't highlighted on the profile. It's actually just there. It's lost in the UI elements. The only button that is highlighted is the message button. This is the only one that is actually emphasized. This is the one that people would click. But I don't need LinkedIn and their new fancy premium features to know that this button wouldn't work anyway. You want to know why? Because no one makes purchase decisions in the home feed. People make purchase decisions, especially for service providers, on people's profiles. So the actionable item for you guys is please do not use this custom button. Please do not lose on clicks and conversions and leads. Please go back to the old version, which is the blue link that you can actually customize and you can determine what it says. Go back to this blue link format right here. Come on, LinkedIn, load up, please. And it's glitchy. There we go. So this button right here, this format right here, because you can customize it and you can make it say whatever you want to say. And it's actually noticeable and clickable. Okay, go back to this profile. And I do have data to back this up again. We've done testing on a lot of people's profiles and we've tracked how many clicks that button gets, the new premium shiny feature versus the old way where a lot of people know exactly where it is and it's actually more noticeable. This one wins 9 times out of 10. So please always use this one and make sure that you repeat the same exact call to action from your banner about the same exact service. Just reword it a little bit. So my call to action is available for one-on-one coaching. And then the same thing, book your one-on-one, grow your LinkedIn. Same exact service. I'm not talking about two different things. People make this mistake where in their banner, they're going to say available for coaching, but then whatever the hottest offer is, subscribe to my newsletter right here. See, you're missing the point. You've just told them one thing and now you're saying them, you're saying another thing. It doesn't make sense. Repeat your offer 3 times on the profile. So this is place number 1 in the banner. This is place number 2. And this should be place number 3, the first featured link. First featured link. Why first? Why not the second or third? The same exact offer from your banner in the blue link. Why first? It's very simple. On desktop, the way you see it right here, 3 links will show up. But 70+% of LinkedIn's users, they use LinkedIn on their mobile app. And on mobile, only 1 link is shown. And then you have to swipe right, then swipe right, not 3 of them. Here, the featured section has 3 links. On mobile, only 1 at a time is shown. So only the first one will get shown, and then people have to swipe for the other ones. But because the first one is shown, make sure to repeat the same exact offer from the banner, from the blue link right here. Think about it like this. In the banner, you introduce your offer. In the blue link, you solidify it. And in the featured section, this is where you sell it. This is where you seal the deal. And I have measured this. 67% of all clicks, and don't feel free to quote me on this if you want to, whatever, but I'm not going to give you the data because it's on my end. And yeah, 60% of all clicks happen right here. Clicks, okay? Clicks, first click on the profile happens right here in the first featured link. Is that valuable? Hell yeah. Because you know where a person is most likely to click to work with you. That is why you need to do some pre-work, right? Introduce the offer first. Then make sure that it's the right offer again. Make sure that they know that that's the offer you want them to take action on. And then push it down their throats. Quite literally, this is the last place where they're going to see your offer. And with that, I'm going to quit my very short LinkedIn profile optimization checklist. There you go.
Thank you so much. That was quite short. And I have one question very specifically. On LinkedIn, we have 3 major metrics we look at: profile viewers, I think post impressions, and search appearances, right? Like LinkedIn prioritizes those metrics. But in your opinion, are those actually important metrics? Yes or no? And if not, what are some other metrics we should be looking at when we are looking at LinkedIn growth very specifically? And I think it also relates to other social media platforms. So you guys can also, try to tweak it for your preferred social media channels.
Sorry, which metrics did you mention? I totally zoned out.
The 3 metrics that we see the moment we go into our LinkedIn profile, right? Profile
Oh,
views,
okay.
impressions, and search appearances.
For me, profile views are the most important, honestly. And I'll tell you why. Because if you don't have traffic on your profile, you won't have traffic in your DMs or in your sales pipeline. As simple as that. As simple as that. But to do all of that, to focus on profile views first, optimize your profile, just like I've explained right now. Then focus on how do you get the visibility? How do you get more profile clicks? And we've actually explained it today. Comments are the easiest way. Comments are the easiest way to get more people back to your profile by being in as many places as possible and leaving really, really value-driven comments, right? Because that's going to prompt people to click always on your profile. And as a result, if your profile is optimized for your target audience, they should be taking action. As simple as that. That's just sales psychology one-on-one. But if you don't have an optimized profile and you're getting a whole lot of traffic, you want to know what happens? 0 sales. You want to know how I know that? Because a lot of people that I coach, they're really big LinkedIn creators. Okay? They're people who have 100,000, 200,000, 500,000 followers. I coach them all on LinkedIn. And one of the problems that keeps reoccurring with every single person is, Jay, I'm going viral almost every single day. I'm getting a whole lot of traffic, but I'm not making any sales. There's $0 in my bank account. Okay. So let's please, guys, whoever is just being a problem maker, please stop. Okay. Please stop. As simple as that. So if you don't have an optimized profile, traffic won't do anything for you. As simple as that. So first, make sure that your profile is optimized and it's clear for your target audience. Then focus on getting those metrics, primarily profile views. But then focus on DMs. I genuinely always say comments, they drive visibility, right? That visibility is centered around your profile. The profile is right here. That's the centerpiece of your LinkedIn. It's in the middle. But whatever happens after that point should be action driven. They should either send you a DM, ask about your services, or They should become a follower, or they should simply skip everything and they should pay you immediately. They should book you immediately on your calendar. To me, that's the favorite thing ever. That's how I've set it up, where I've done so much pre-communication. Even when you jump on my Calendly, it looks like a landing page. There's so much information there. I'm telling you in advance what you're going to get, what's included in the coaching, testimonials, this and that, so that you never even have to reach out to me. You're 100% sure this guy, he's speaking to me. This guy, he can fix what I have broken. This guy, he's already done this for others. Heck, let me pay him. As simple as that. But again, if you don't have if you don't have an optimized profile, none of these metrics are going to matter. I'm telling you, if you're just focused on the content and the comment bits, you're just getting traffic and followers for nothing. Quite literally for nothing. So I'll leave it at that. Something to think about.
Absolutely. I think I've been taking notes in your session, and one of the things that now I really want to ask you is, you have been really good at understanding what's going to work. So today I want to get a little bit of head start by having you here. What do you predict are the trends for social media, and what is the trend or the future of online services industry looking like? We have over 780 people in this room alone. I think 50 plus people on YouTube right now. So this small batch, I don't think it's very small, but we want the head start on how we can be ahead of the trend before it becomes mainstream. So what are the things you're predicting?
Write more. Genuinely write more. I've been saying this for years, and I'm going to keep saying it for years to come. And that's never going to change. Why? If you really look at LinkedIn from a trends perspective, guys, everything is changing every year. One thing that isn't is strong writing. Your best positioning on LinkedIn is strong writing, very powerful writing. It doesn't matter what format you're using, whether text only, whether images, whether videos, whether carousels. If you're not communicating in the right way, if you're not improving how you write, none of that's going to matter. You can focus on formats, sure. You may say, "Oh, LinkedIn is prioritizing video right now." It's not. LinkedIn is prioritizing carousels. It's not. LinkedIn is prioritizing well-written content, content that resonates with people. And it doesn't matter what the format is. You need to be able to write well. This is what I've always told people for years now. Writing is the best skill you can learn this year. And I'll keep saying it. I'll say it next year. Trust me. When I'm on a podcast next year somewhere, I'll say it again. Because writing ultimately is about communication. And because on LinkedIn, 90% of the focus on any post, regardless of the format, again, it doesn't matter whether it's images, videos, carousels, text only, you're focused on the words of the person. You're focused on what they're saying to you. So, guys, I genuinely mean this. Improve your writing. Don't focus on the trends. Once you improve the writing, the trends, they genuinely will not matter because trends will keep changing. But what's going to stay is your ability to communicate with your target audience. And ultimately, that's what matters. Ultimately, you just want to be able to put your thoughts out there, publish, and for people to read and click see more. And then once they're reading all the way till the end, for them to take action, whether it's to engage with the post or ultimately to go to your profile and work with you. But that does not happen without really great writing, without really great communication. You could be chasing. I'll tell you this because this is happening as we speak. People are saying images get more reach than text only posts. I disagree. In fact, I just published some of the statistics that I've had in the last month. It's exactly the same. It's exactly the same. Quite literally. Text only versus images, exactly the same reach. Why? I'm confident in my writing. I know I'm a good writer. But then people who are battling me in the comments are saying, yeah, but my text only is getting less reach. And then I take one look at how they're writing and I understand why. And this is no offense to anyone. I understand why. And then I ask the question, and this specifically goes to every single professional in this room today. Okay? Do you want to be seen or do you want to be heard? What is more powerful as a brand, as a business? Or if we go even deeper into the topic, for those loving to take selfies and for those loving to show themselves off, do you want to be looked at or do you want to be listened to? Totally your choice. You can achieve both, by the way, but you can't achieve both unless you write well. You can't. So focus on your writing. Genuinely don't focus on the trends. If you take a look at what I do in my content and a lot of the stuff that I coach to other people, I'm not following any trends. Like quite literally, I'm not following any trends. I feel like as long as I keep putting my message out there in a really easy to read and easy to understand way for people, that's it. That's all I gotta keep continuing to do. If I fall into the trap of, oh, carousels are working, let me create as many carousels as possible. See what I'm doing? I just completely forgot about the content. I'm focused on the format. No, no. Or if there's news out there that says LinkedIn is going to prioritize video and LinkedIn just launched a new video feed, should I do video immediately? No, absolutely not. I'm going to be focused on pushing my message out there in the best written format possible, whatever the other formats are. And I genuinely advise you all to do the same. Focus on your writing, not the format itself. Trust me, you're going to win like that. Always, every single time. The same goes for your comments as well. The same goes for your DMs as well. The same goes for your emails as well. The same goes for the copy on your calendar and your landing pages and your booking pages. Same goes for every piece of text that you write anywhere. Focus on how well you write because that will improve how well you communicate, not the format. The format is going to be what it is. Trends are going to come and go. Your skill is here to stay, for sure.
Absolutely. Can't
And
agree.
and whoever noticed me taking a stab at LinkedIn video, yeah, I did. I did.
I can get the frustration. I think a lot of creators talk about writing as the most important skill these days. And to end today's session, last question for you. What are the must know resources for us, must know tools for us, or must read books for us to write like you, or maybe even better, to write like the experts, or to understand social platforms better than anyone else? Can you share
Awesome, awesome
your
question.
secret
Awesome
tools?
question. Awesome question, Saheli. I will tell you this. When I was coming up, and the courses that have helped me the most were on digitalmarketer.com. So that's where I've learned a lot of my things back in my early days. This was like 10, almost 15 years ago now. So digitalmarketer.com, back then they had a whole lot of cool courses. I'm genuinely not sure what they have now, what sort of pivot they've had over the years, but that's where I've learned a lot of my stuff. Second thing, feel like a whole lot of people notice already. I've learned a lot from Chris Do and the Future team. Go to the Future channel. That's the Future without the E at the end. That's FUTUR. Scroll back to some of their older videos as well, because I feel like nowadays it's a lot of podcasts and a lot of guest featurettes. Back in the day, they did a lot of role play, a lot of mock calls with clients, right? Just they were pretending one was a client, one was a service provider. I've learned so much about sales. I've learned so much about negotiating. I've learned so much about pricing. I've learned so much about positioning myself throughout those videos. I've genuinely watched every single video on that particular channel. I will give you a recommendation to every single one of you here. If you have the time, I feel like it's only going to be like an hour and a half max. They have a documentary that they've done with a client where they've rebranded from scratch, like literally from day one, where they've just received an inquiry and then the initial email back and forth, the initial calls, the sales call, the discovery call, right? And then the onboarding call. And then who gets to do what? Who gets to design what? How do you design a logo? How does a logo play into the positioning? How does positioning play into pricing? How does pricing play into launch events? How do we organize a launch event? At the launch event, where do we place this? Where do we place that? They've done a really great documentary where they've rebranded this one product, and it's called, I don't know if it's building a brand or making a brand. I think it's building a brand. It's on the Future channel. You'll easily find it. I feel like it's only 11, 12 episodes. They're really short episodes. So highly recommend you watch that. That thing I recommended to so many people over the years, and I might actually watch it tonight again, just to remind myself of a lot of the things that I've learned in that video. It's genuinely not a writing video. It's not a marketing video. It's not a branding video. It's everything in one, right? They're designers, but they're also salespeople. They're also business owners. They're negotiators. They're thinkers. They're problem fixers and problem solvers. All of that. And you also get to watch it from two perspectives, from the service provider, but also from the client's perspective. What are they looking for? What are their frustrations, right? So you get to understand both sides of the coin, meaning how can I improve my relationship with my clients, but also how can I improve my own service and how I position myself based on what you learned in that rebranding episode. I feel like it's called Building a Brand. If anyone can find a link, feel free to drop it in the chat. But yeah, that's definitely all the recommendations I'm going to give you for now. Digitalmarketer.com and The Future and Chris Do. I've learned so much from them. Just hands down, probably 90% of my business acumen is because of those two, for sure.
I think last time you came into the academy for the session, you mentioned Chris Do's book, and I Pocketful of Dough. I think you're very crazy about that
Yeah.
at that point, and I finished it within the next one day. It was so good, and it's also a case study in design. So I also highly
Yeah.
recommend it, guys. Please do read it. And yeah, thank you so much, Yasmin, for taking this session with
By the
us.
way, before you end it, do you want to do some Q&A? Because I still have some time.
Absolutely. I
There we
will
go.
just,
And
I think
someone
yes,
just dropped the link, I feel like, to the playlist, to the Building a
yeah.
Brand documentary. So thank you guys. Thank you.
The chat is only to us, that is hosts. So guys, we can see your messages, but we disabled it for others because I guess everyone was getting spammed. So now if anyone has a question at all, you can drop it in the chat and I'll try to pick one that I find interesting for him. Not generic questions, please. Not something too broad.
Feel free to, you know what would be easiest? Just ask me yes or no questions. That would be the easiest. Guys, let's play a
That is
yes or no game. Just try to ask me yes or no questions. I feel like that's going to be fun for everyone. It's actually going to be very easy, and we get to cram in a
right.
whole lot of questions.
How much time do you spend on a day on LinkedIn?
2 hours minimum.
2 hours.
Minimum.
Okay, we're going to do a rapid fire. Inbound versus outbound. What is better?
What is better? That's a misleading question, Saheli. Um, for me, inbound for sure. For the vast majority of people, outbound.
That makes sense. Do you prefer to handwrite your content ever before you type it out for digital?
No, keyboard notes every time. Authored up, that's where I do a lot of the drafting, and then I also save it up, back it up in my notes app. So authored up first because of the formatting, because I can preview everything.
Okay, one very common question. Should we post daily? Should we post every day?
No. Should we is a very strong phrase. Should you? That means you're kind of pressured to do it. No. In fact, I've never posted 7 days a week ever. Ever. I even now I only do like 4 posts average, sometimes 3, sometimes 2 per week. I rarely do 5. I don't think I've done 5 posts in 3 months in a week. So there you go. No, the answer is no.
Makes sense. What else do we have? It's just like going like this.
I
Should
can
we
go
provide-
through it if you want to. I can go through the
No,
chat
no
if you
worry,
want.
no worry. I'll be able to filter better because I'm used to this. Is providing free service better in the starting?
Well, I have a unique opinion on that because I've done it as well. Do it at least once for the referrals, for the testimonials. It is what it is, right? Do it at least once, but do not let anyone take advantage of you. Okay. My opinion is that you should do it at the very beginning. You're not getting any clients anyhow. At least you're going to get a testimonial out of it. There you go.
Do you use ChatGPT?
I have never.
Never. Oh wow,
No.
that's
I don't
something.
use AI for writing, period. So if you're going to ask me about other tools, I don't use AI for writing, period. I only use AI for transcription of my calls, and I may use it for design. That's it. For writing, never.
Wow, that's inspiring. Is chart no, I think this is not a good question. How do you deal with writer's block?
I write every single day. I genuinely write every single day. I always say you should be able to write at least one trash post per day. Trash post, yes, I mean a throwaway post. I am someone who writes anywhere between 2 to 10 posts every single day. And a lot of those, naturally, they sit in my drafts. They're literally just practice posts. I publish 4 per week on average. So that should tell you something. Out of like 50 per week that I write, I only publish 4. So practice a lot, guys. That's how you'll never get writer's block. Just whatever's on your mind, write it down always, every day.
Makes sense. I think we have a huge fangirl of yours, and Deepriya asks, I want to be like you, Yasmin. How do I
Please don't.
discipline myself?
Please don't. Honestly, just you'll find your own lane. Whoever asked that, I didn't catch the name, but you'll find your own lane. Just, I feel like this has a lot to do with not just business, but the way I've been brought up. Just be good to people, right? Just put your most valuable stuff out there. Be helpful in the comments. Just be someone who people know they can trust. That's how you're going to get them to trust you with their money as well. So there you go.
A very nice question, but I'm going to tweak it a little bit. Do you say no more often now?
Yes, I do.
That makes so much sense. I think we should see you so much available online. Uh, uh, how do you manage to set boundaries with your clients as a highly paid freelancer or service providers?
I'm very confident in the types of services that I offer. I just tell them how it is. One of the biggest lessons I've learned from Chris Do and from their sales conversations was whenever you mention the price or whenever you mention what's included in your offer, and you're going to hear, but guys, please pay attention to what I'm about to say now. This is crucial life advice for if you're going to run a business. If you drop the price and you drop what's included, shut up. Stay silent. Do not say anything. Let the client do the talking, because the second you start explaining your price, explaining your service, you're justifying. You are not feeling confident in what you offer. Don't. Name the price, shut up. Drop the ball, shut up. Best advice I've ever gotten in business, genuinely.
How to create an agreement, or do you have an agreement?
When you say agreement, do you mean like a contract?
I guess so, with your clients.
Just go to DocuSign. They have a lot of templates. DocuSign.com. DocuSign is the easiest. They can sign electronically and it's binding, legally binding. So there you go.
Works. Okay, too
And
fast.
make sure it's a one pager always. A lot of times those contracts, they like 15 pages. Just make sure it's a one pager. Easy as that.
Have you taken any courses to upskill lately?
I have. I've been playing around a lot on children's playgrounds with my son. And just letting go of all the pressure of social media helps me be better at social media. I know this is not the answer that's going to be applicable to everyone, but for me, disconnecting from social media lately has been the best thing I've ever done. I don't spend as much time anymore. I feel like too much consumption, overconsumption is not good at any point. So just try to disconnect, guys. Go and enjoy life. I feel like we spend way too much time in the online world. Just go spend time with your friends, spend time with your loved ones. If you have kids, spend time with your kids, with your fiancés, girlfriends, boyfriends. Just be there. Be out there.
Do you have any content checklists that you look at before you hit post?
No. I just at this point kind of have a filter of what is good and what isn't. I've written thousands of posts. For me, it's more about is it applicable, right? Like, can you take this? Can you take the thing that I've said in my post, even if it's a motivational post, and can you actually do something with it right away, like in the next 10 seconds? That's my checklist. Like, can you apply it right away? If not, I didn't do a good job.
Should we schedule posts?
I don't. I'm going to
Oh,
leave it at that because I don't want to get in LinkedIn trouble. So that answer should tell you everything. I never schedule my posts for a reason.
okay. I think we should avoid that too then. Um, do you consume a lot of content on LinkedIn as well, or do you mostly spend your time with your creation?
I consume a lot actually. Um, I write a lot every day, but that for me is like a separate part of my daily routine. I consume a lot of content, but luckily I've optimized my feed to a point where I now only see the type of content that I would want to see anyhow. So I've shared this advice before in the past, and it always gets me in trouble. Unfollow more people, guys. Just unfollow. My rule is out of 10 posts that I see in the main feed, if I can't comment on 9 of them, my feed is not optimized. So unfollow more people. Trust me when I tell you, if your trouble is I can't find the time to comment. It takes way too much time. It doesn't. You're probably just scrolling way too much and wasting your time. So make sure that your feed is optimized and at least 9 posts that you see out of 10, you can actually comment on them. This will only happen if you unfollow the people whose content you just don't resonate with, and that's fine. And by the way, before you ask, no, this does not mean you're going to lose your connections. Connect and follow, they're two separate features. You can disconnect someone and you can still follow them, or you can unfollow them and still stay connected. Just so you know.
That makes sense. Book recommendations, I think a lot of them are asking for. So if there are any other books that you want to recommend.
Pocket Full of Dough by Chris Do for sure. And if you want a really motivational book, go and download or buy Unbroken Optimist by my good friend Kofi Duhaji. So Unbroken Optimist, really great book.
I've never heard about it before, so definitely will.
Kofi is my guy. He's an ex-client as well. He's got a book publishing company. So he's definitely an author with the experience. So he knows how to write really well.
Mehak asks, is it important to have a lot of followers to get clients for personal
Not at
brand?
all. Not at all. You could have 1,000 followers and get clients.
Um, is there anything more unique? But I guess those were the very unique questions. I think majority of them are
Feel free
repetitive.
to just I'll do my best to give you like 1, 2, 3 word answers. So feel free to just let's do rapid fire, legit
What is the
rapid fire.
word length? What is the word length you recommend for an optimum post?
No recommendation as long as it's applicable. Again, that's it. Some of my posts are 3,000 characters, the literal limit.
Simple format that you should follow on every post. I know Yasmin has a lot of formats. I think the 1 and 3 format is my personal favorite.
The biggest format I can give you is 131, but that's not for writing. This is for drafting your ideas. Whenever you think of an idea to write, think 1 line, what is the post about? 3 lines, the 3 main points. 1 line, the question you would ask in the end. Save that in your notes, forget about it. Next time when you come to it, you already have a skeleton of your post. You already have the main thing, you already have your main points, you already have the ending, and then you just elaborate and optimize. So this is a drafting strategy, 131.
Oh, I see. I generally liked it a lot for creating content as well. Okay, coming back, what is your ideation strategy? Like, how do you come across new ideas?
I have so many ideas there. I'll look at my content, what has worked. I'll do a lot of Q&As. I do those almost every single day. I'll just take people's questions. I'll write posts about them. As simple as that. Whatever people ask me in the comments, I feel like there's a need for a post about it.
Mm-hmm. What what tool do you use for your designs? Is it
Canva,
Canva? Canva, right? Yeah.
Canva, everything. I've been a Canva user since the super early days, since they had 50,000 users. I've been there since day one.
Um, should we okay, no, not this one. Should we divert from our expertise while posting?
Once a week, maybe, or once every 2 weeks. I do that by talking about kindness and talking about motivational stories. Those are not business related, right? But they do relate with a lot of people. But those are things that should be aligned with your personal values and morals. Always. Do not just talk about something because you feel like, again, it is a hot topic. Never do that. Unless you believe in it, unless that's a part of your identity. Yeah, there you go.
How do you deal with people who disagree with you or criticize you?
I love it. It provides me with more content. Quite
Okay.
literally.
Do you use your phone or laptop to reply to comments? Okay, that's actually a question I also now think about.
Whenever I publish my post, I use my laptop because I'm much faster. I don't know how many people know this, but every single day that I post, I host a live commenting session, a live session free for everyone. And you can only join if you follow my pinned comments because I always drop a link where you can join for free. And I literally share my screen and I comment live every single day.
Uh, how do you build a founder brand?
By talking about your motivations about your business a lot, by talking about the motivations and fears and problems of your target audience. I feel like this fears part is crucial about your audience. There's a really cool piece of content that I've read recently, and it was a nice study that I really agree with. It is about, should you talk about the outcome that your client is expecting, or should you talk about the fear that they have if they don't achieve that outcome? The fear is the much better converter. I'll tell you that. Like, you're not just going to tell them, hey, here's what's at the end other side of this particular strategy. You're going to get this many clients, this many DMs, this many leads. No, don't speak about it from that perspective. Say, what if you never did that? What is the fear? Are you going to lose your business? Are you going to do X, do Z? That's usually what gets people to emotionally be invested in your content. It's not the outcome, it's the fear, the emotion behind the outcome. It's a slightly psychological process, but I do it a lot in my content, and feel free to analyze how I do it.
By the way, we are already at
It's
the
okay. I
top.
got a couple more minutes. I'm
Yeah,
I'm they're
that's
waiting for me in the other chat, but it's okay. I'm the guest, one of
I
the guests,
wanted to
so I
make
can be late, fashionably late.
works. Any tips about extending your business offline? I guess the question is about speaking offline, how to get offline gigs or
Uh,
get
so
invited to
there's
events.
there's a really cool thing. I spoke about it in a carousel once before. If you want to get gigs about a certain thing, show people that you can do that certain thing, right?
Mhm.
At the very beginning of my keynote journey, you can scroll back. What I used to do is I would sit in an empty classroom and I would place my phone somewhere and I would pretend that I'm talking. Like, I would literally have hand movements like this, but the camera is from this angle and it looks like I'm on stage speaking to an audience. You don't see the audience, but that's not the point. The point is I'm demonstrating that I'm a speaker. And for the average user scrolling, for the average conference organizer, for the average podcast owner, right? For the average whoever who could invite me to a keynote, who could invite me to host a presentation, all they're going to see is that image. And that image, what does it do? It demonstrates exactly what I want to be hired for. So pay attention to how creatively you can represent what you want to be hired for. So that's what I've done for my keynotes actually earlier on in the day. And then as time has passed by, I would genuinely have someone always in the audience. Like, my first gig, take as many photos as possible. Genuinely. I don't care if the photos suck, if they're really bad. I would give my phone to someone I trust. Take 100 photos tonight. And then I would use those photos and use them in my content. I do that to this day. You'll see a lot of my keynotes, hand movements and microphones and this and that, because that's how people find out that I am a keynote speaker and they invite me to more conferences. So there you go.
That makes sense. What is the percentage ratio of your audience? Like, I mean, the age or the countries?
I will not give you the exact percentages. I can give you a top, 3, 4, 5. London and England, United Kingdom is my biggest audience. Then we have a tie between India and United States, and then I have Pakistan, and then I have Bosnia. So that's my top 5 audiences. So UK, India, US, Pakistan, Bosnia. And then I have, like, Germany, Italy, Spain, a lot of European countries for sure in the remainder of the top 10.
Makes sense.
Canada is somewhere in the, top 15, top 20 as well.
Uh, I think again, these are very generic questions. Let me see if there's anything where I think we've already picked up any very good question. What is your non-negotiable habit for day one of LinkedIn? That's a good one.
Comment at least 50 times per day. I don't care if it takes you 5 hours, 50 comments per day. Get that visibility. That's all you need at the very beginning. Visibility, visibility, visibility.
Uh, I think he said 50. And any
50,
creators
yes,
you'd
50.
your favorite creators on LinkedIn?
Please skip this question. This changes every single day, quite literally every day.
Uh, when is the right time to get LinkedIn Premium?
Never.
Uh,
I'll be honest. Unless you are doing outbound a lot, unless you're sending people messages a lot, you don't need LinkedIn Premium.
Makes
That's it.
sense.
If you're going to be sending out connection requests, it's really great because you have those personalized requests. The limit is off. And if you're going to be sending messages to people you aren't connected with, you can do that. Again, the limit is off. So that's the only time it's actually worth it, right? But that should also mean your outbound strategy, your DM strategy should be really strong because LinkedIn Premium is pretty expensive. I'm paying $200 for it. Is it $100? I don't even know at this point per month for it. That's pretty darn expensive for a freaking DM tool. So you decide whether it's worth it for you. But for 99% of people, you don't need LinkedIn Premium for sure.
Do you have any particular time that you prefer to post at? I think you do.
I post at 12:30 p.m. Standard European time. That's, how I can tackle US early risers, a lot of people in Europe because it's the middle of the day, and a lot of people in Southeast Asia, India, Australia, just because it's late afternoon slash late evening. So I don't miss any market. But that's for me because now I'm global. But at the very beginning, it wasn't. I was genuinely testing. I used to post at 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m. back in the day. It was good up until a certain point when I realized that I was targeting the wrong audience. I was attracting the wrong audience, right? A lot of non-paying clients because I have mostly Bosnian, right? People commenting under my posts, and Bosnians weren't my clients. So I decided to switch it up. Let me post a bit later because that's going to be super early for the US audiences. Yeah, you gotta experiment for yourself for sure.
Makes sense. How do you test your experiments?
Very long question. Can be rapid fire. Sorry. That's a very
Right.
long answer.
But we'll look forward to a post on this.
I think I posted about it probably like 2 months ago. Anyhow,
We'll look up. We'll look it up.
yep.
Um, do we still have you, or do you have to attend your session?
I I'm still good to go there. You're just ranting and talking.
All
Yeah.
right.
I gotta go join Luke and Laura at another event for Laura's cohort. But they know me there very well, so let them wait.
Um, do you ever send cold DMs to get clients? I don't think to get
These
clients,
you'd be
but
surprised. These days, I don't necessarily send cold DMs. I send messages to folks who I know from the comments, or I scroll really, really back, like months back in my DMs because I genuinely get hundreds of messages per day. I don't have a VA. I don't have anyone to take care of my DMs. I want to be in control. And I miss a lot of messages. That means, yes, I'm leaving a whole lot of money on the table. And please do not message me about becoming my VA. I'm not hiring at the moment. Um, I scroll back a lot and then I reach out to people who've reached out to me in the back. Is that a cold DM at that point because it's been months since they reached out first? I don't know, but actually like reaching out to strangers and selling and pushing my service, no, I don't do that. Cold DMing, absolutely not. For me, it's inbound all the way in the sort of warm outreach approach, commenting, building familiarity, and then you reach out because you already know them. I've spoken about warm outreach, my approach in a lot of my posts.
I had a question that I did not ask because I was not sure if you would have the time for it. But what do you think builds credibility as an online service provider, except our service itself, of course? But let's say I'm starting today, I don't have a lot of body of work. What builds my credibility online the fastest?
Really good opinions, and being in a lot of places. You'll be surprised. So, yeah, I could name who it is, but I don't want to. One of the currently biggest creators on the platform, when they started, they didn't have a whole lot of experience, period. But what they've done is they've started to share whatever they've learned that day, and they've started to share their own opinions about what they've learned every single day. Those opinions position you as an authority, right? Because everyone can just share information, but then you just become a resource hub, an informational guru. People don't have necessarily a connection with you because you're never sharing your own opinions. And a lot of people are making this mistake in their content. They are purely sharing information. I could Google that same information, but please always add your own 2 cents. And those 2 cents, that unique opinion, should be somewhere in the beginning of the post, not all the way down. This is how you position yourself as an authority from day one. But then the more you're actually showing up authentically, right? Because you're being honest about everything you've learned, because you're telling people, this is what I think, this is what I feel like, this is what I predict. You see what we're doing? I'm not giving you information, I'm giving you opinions. And this is what makes someone authoritative, their opinions, not just their information. Because then their opinions, they become strategies for other people long term. But then thing number two that you should do is just be in as many places as possible. Be in those conversations. What makes you follow someone these days? Just ask yourself, what makes you follow a person? Because you're probably seeing them a lot in everyone's comments. And you feel like, oh, this person knows everyone. They're connected. No, they're just commenting a lot and they're commenting really well. So comment a lot, always a non-negotiable, but also share your opinions, not just your information. Show people the how, not just the now. I always say that. The now means, hey, here's what happened. Here's the information. The how means, here's how I got there. Here's why. Here was my thought process. Here's how I felt about it. Here's the emotion. That's what creates authority, not the information. That's the real value, right? That emotional connection that you give to people. And it also shows up in the comments as well, that exact emotional connection. Because if you're just gonna, repeat what a person has said in the post, again, does it build that emotional connection? No. But if you share an opinion and your own advice based on an opinion, see how that's different, then that can resonate with people, especially new people. So yeah, authority is built on opinions and presence in all the right places, for sure.
Do you also not use any LinkedIn tools for analytics or
I
analytics?
only use Authored Up for everything. So I'll show you guys. I where's my LinkedIn gone? So let me open up my LinkedIn. Really, give me a second. So the only thing that I actually use for all my analytics, yeah, forget the screen share. It's glitching. Sorry. Is Authored Up. Authored Up's analytics for me are the best. I've been saying it since day one. It's the best tool on the market. And I feel like at this point, people know me and Authored Up as like a love story. I've been using the tool since day one. So yeah, Authored Up, hands down, best tool for LinkedIn on the market.
Um, Outbound strategy for LinkedIn, if you have any.
I do, but that's going to be a very long answer because I coach that to people in a 1 hour session. So definitely not possible to cover that. I have my own DM/outbound strategy that I coach to people. Very successful, might I add, for 99% of the people that use it. So unfortunately, I can't give you the answer right here. It's
Understood.
long. It's a super long one.
Got it. How many connections should we make per week?
No goal. But honestly, I feel like that's just me because I've never focused on connections. I've always focused more on the followers side. Um, for me, it's always been like if a person is gonna engage with me that many times, we're gonna become a connection either way. I'm not just gonna connect with someone just because they've added me. No, I don't know you. We've not exchanged that many comments or conversations. I don't know you. Connected means something. Also, if we're going to do business together, that's another reason to stay connected. If you're reaching out to me with a proposal, that's another reason to stay connected. But just randomly staying connected with people and feeling like you have to hit a certain quota per day, no, no.
Understood. Um, Quick
That
topics.
that means your numbers chasing, right? That means you're just chasing the higher number. You're not really chasing the strong network that you should have. Because 3 months down the line, you may have 2,000 new connections, but how many of them are actually going to buy from you? How many actually going to refer you? How many of them have you actually spoken to? See, like there are your answers. So if you have a quota per day of how many people you need to connect with, I say that's the wrong approach. Only connect with people you actually know.
Mhm. Um, this can be a very good question. Quick topics to write for, which wide audiences can relate to.
Sorry, what was that?
Quick topics you can write for, which wide audiences can relate to. I mean, generic
Ah,
topics.
anything regarding hiring, anything regarding job searches, anything regarding like underdog stories, right? I was here, now I'm here. I've been lost, now I'm here. I've been overweight, now I'm fit. I've been broke, now I'm rich. I failed, now I succeeded. Any one of those transformational, underdog stories. Anything regarding supporting other people, kindness. I feel like the kindness bit is a bit overdone by people because they just repeat what someone else has said. They don't necessarily give you a unique, applicable tip. Um, again, I think I've just said hiring, job searches, any sort of in office slash employee slash employer story. Those really resonate with a lot of people because we've all had jobs, we've all had bosses, we've all had CEOs, we've all at a certain point, worked within a team environment or worked in a physical office. So any one of those are typically very broad. So yeah, those work definitely.
Right. How many more questions can we take? I'll choose the questions
I
accordingly.
was just writing to Luke and Laura, and they said, we're just warming up. Would be good if you come midway so people are ready. So I assume midway means 7 more minutes.
Works. Then I can take a few
I'm
more
happy to
questions.
stay if other people want me to stay, by the way. If you
I
if
think
you
they
need
would
to
want you
go, I
to
know
stay.
we've gone over the line. Just
No,
just do
I
let
think they would want you to stay as long as you can, but I'm gonna take some more questions then if we have 7 minutes because that's good time. Okay, this one's good. Mm, can we attract companies that sell physical products via LinkedIn?
yes, you can. Absolutely. Just you got to talk about it. Or the thing, you see, this is now where the inbound outbound conversation starts. Not everyone is active on LinkedIn, right? So there are just certain people who are lurkers, who are ghosts, who never post, who never comment. To those people, reach out. Feel free to. And those could usually be those physical product marketing managers, CEOs, owners, whoever. Reach out to them. It's fine. At least you're going to know if you ever had a chance in the first place by reaching out because they're never commenting, they're never posting anyhow. So reaching out makes sense. If you're gonna send them a connection request, I'm not sure if that's the best strategy. You'd be much better off by having LinkedIn Premium and sending them an in-mail because the in-mail can have a subject line and then you can, let them know why you're actually reaching out, versus, hey, I'm sending you a random connection request because I have an ulterior motive, right? No, the in-mail allows you to write what the motive is and then reach out to them. And then after a while, if you've actually built a relationship, then you connect, not before.
Makes sense. Somebody is asking, what is the actual value of LinkedIn badges? Are they actually helpful? And I
Which
don't think it
ones,
means
blue or yellow?
yeah, I not the blue one. I think it means the other ones.
I call them participation trophies. That should tell you everything.
Right. Okay. And based on a few of your answers, Yasmin, what are your most controversial opinions about social media or LinkedIn?
That you should share everything, that you should avoid any and all negativity and fights, and that that I want everyone to win. I feel like those three always get me in trouble. When I say share everything, again, people's immediate comeback is like, yeah, but what do I have for my paying clients? I'm like, no. The second one, right? Avoid negativity, avoid just pointless discussions. But then it's like, well, how would you know if you're wrong? How would you know if there are other opinions and points of view out there? And I'm like, well, there's a nicer way to go about it. Because if you're insulting or if you're calling people out, there's a lot of the service providers do this really often, and I hate that sort of content where they say, "You've heard the guru say," and then they quote something, but that is really bad advice. And then every single post is like that. You've heard someone say this. You've heard someone say that. You've heard. At that point, you're just a negative person. You're no longer sharing your own advice. You're literally just picking at other people. You're a bully. So I hate those types of posts. I hate those types of comments. Just because I feel like there's a nicer way to go about it. What's the nicer way? What's the easier way? What's the actual better way to position yourself? Simply skip the part where you're calling out the other person. If you're going to tell me you've heard the guru say this, and that, it's bad, here's my advice that could work for you. Skip those first two lines. Just write your post. Here's my advice that could work for you. If your advice is that good, you don't need to be calling other people out. If your advice is that good, it's going to work by itself. And I stick to that every single time. But then again, people just love drama. People love discussions. For me, there's a clear line between a professional discussion and just plain negativity and fighting and bickering in the comments. My favorite friend is the block button. Peace out, and I save my sanity. Um, and the third one, what was the third one that I said? I'm trying to remember what was the third one that I said. I'll remember. Someone remind me if you're taking notes. But yeah, what gets me in trouble? What was number three that I said? Oh yeah, I want all people to win.
Or
Luke, actually, my friend Luke Matthews, he always fights with me about this. Like, no, I don't want everyone to win, or no, not everyone can win. Or when I say we've crossed, 200 and whatever thousand followers. It's like, it's not we, it's you. And I'm like, no, but man, this is a community, right? We're all in this together. Like we're all learning here. Well, yeah, but it's you. And I'm like, you don't get it. But that's just, how you view the world, right? Is it, do you want more people to win? Or is it, I don't feel like everyone deserves to win? And this is just two different personalities, which is totally fine. I accept both, but you ask what gets me in trouble. These are usually the opinions that get me in trouble. Share everything, avoid negativity at all costs, and the last part, which is, wanting everyone to win.
right. And I also feel like when it comes to social content, guys, we can see everything. I mean literally everything in the world, positively or negatively. Like I could be looking at Yasmin now and I could be like, wow, it's nice that he's wearing a casual blue t-shirt. Or I can be like, oh my God, this is so many people. He should be dressed in absolute formals. LinkedIn is a professional platform. Where are the ethics? Where are the manners? So
I
almost
picked
everything.
my outfit today. I spent 5 minutes picking out my outfit, just so you know.
Thank you so much for that. You look amazing. And yeah,
Thank
so
you.
I just wanted to illustrate that if you want to pick something, pick it something, you can pick it literally anything and you can back it up with anything, right? So yeah, be kind. I feel like the social world in general is so hard to be on. I've been doing social media for 8 years. Yasmin, how many years have you been using social media for? I know that you've been popular on LinkedIn for 2, 3 years now,
That's
but
a great question. I've used the early MySpace. I've used the early MSN. I've used the early we called it MIRTs back in the day, the AOLs of the world.
Mhm.
I've been using social media probably since the late 90s.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a very long time. You must have seen a lot of evolution
I've
of.
seen the transformation for sure since, the early versions of it to first iterations of social media. Facebook didn't even exist back then. Yeah, for sure. I've been in social media for a very long time. So for me, it's always about human behavior, right? What makes people tick? What makes a buyer, have that emotional connection? It's more about that. And ultimately, it's about, again, how you write so that you can achieve those things that I just mentioned, that emotional connection, that request for someone to be like, oh, I want this. I want to work with this person. This person seems cool, right? So yeah, I've been in social media for a while. I'm 32, by the way, for context.
A lot of
But I've
people
been
are
in I've
asking
been
how
in
old are
business
you?
since I was 17, 18. That's when I started writing online. So 15 years now at this point.
That's a very long time. And
Yep.
I think it's only going to change more and more. So I think everyone has to stay updated. And as industry experts, I think it's the job of LinkedIn staff creators to keep you updated. And thank you so much, Yasmin. I think everyone's had such a great time learning so many things with you. We keep having more questions. So let me know if you want me to continue or you
I
have to
gotta
take
run now. They're
friends.
waiting for me. I just
I
texted them.
understand. Just making sure. Thank you so much, guys. Please take, I hope you took photos. If you didn't, I'll give you 5 seconds for that.
Let's take a screenshot together if you want to.
Sure.
I'll take a
Uh,
screenshot on my end as well. So let me see what kind of preview I can have here.
you
So
can
let me
use gallery
remove the
view for the.
spotlight, remove the pin. Okay, there we go. There we go.
I'm going to click a picture. And please post
So
about it, what you liked about it, what you enjoyed. What are you looking forward to next time? Because we are sure to have Yasmin again. And thank you so much,
let,
Yasmin. It
let
was
me do it
amazing
like this.
learning
So let
from
me
you.
take a screenshot on my end as well, guys. So 3, 2, 1. There we go. By the way, quick question for everyone who was here. Am I allowed to email you as a thank you? I know when you signed up, you left your emails. That's just my permission. Me asking for permission.
Yes, I am
There we go.
pretty sure.
So you'll probably get an email from me, just so you know.
Guys, we have your emails. I'll send them the CSV file of your emails and you get
Okay.
it.
It's
Yes, a
just gonna
lot
be
of people are
one, and then
sending the
whoever
email
wants to stay for
in
the
the chat.
newsletter, they can.
Yeah, a lot of them are sending the email in the chat right now. So don't worry, we already
Don't
have.
worry. We
No
have
worries.
we have the files
We
from
have
when you
the email.
signed up. Don't worry. Thank you, everyone. By the way, also I forgot to thank you. So thank you, everyone who joined today. Thank you for all the questions. Thank you for all the freaking energy in the chat. I feel like this has been probably the most active chat I've seen this year. I don't know how many messages were sent, but I'm pretty sure it's in the thousands in the chat today. And it's still coming. Look, I literally just refreshed and there's 38 of them. Thank you guys. I'll be seeing you in the comments. I'll be seeing you in the posts. Um, see you on the in the newsletter, in the community, whoever wants to join. So yeah, listen to Saheli. She knows her stuff.
Thank you.
And yeah,
Thank you. And thank you so much for
till
agreeing.
next time, till volume 3 next year.
Absolutely. We'll have you on board soon again. And thank you so much, guys, for joining. And Yasmin, we'll let you get to that session. You've kept them waiting for 1.5 hours.
Got to run to another Zoom room. Yeah.
Right. Um, right, guys, I'll hold you guys for a little bit, probably, if you guys are okay with that. And I know that most of you joined for Yasmin's sessions. Thank you so much. Please make a content piece or make a LinkedIn post or an Instagram post. Now Yasmin is also on Instagram. Please tag him. Please tag me. I will look forward to that. I also noted a lot of generic questions during the session, which were not necessarily about LinkedIn. So if anybody wants, and it's an interesting question, I can answer it right now. And maybe spend the next 10, 15 minutes with you guys, and then we'll end the session. The chat is only to me because there's a lot of members in this chat and it's getting extremely spammy for the students in general. But I'll try to filter some interesting questions. But thank you. You've an amazing audience. I think almost 500 of you stuck till 1.5 hours. I guess a bunch of you are students itself. So hi, guys. I hope you had fun in today's session. Looking forward to meeting you guys this upcoming Friday with my session, of course. I will try. Okay, I'll try to see what, again, now I see more specific question. Thank you. Thank you very much. My resource recommendations, I am personally really enjoying this book called The Creative Act by Rick Rubin. If you want to be more creative with your content, strategy, posts, that would be pretty good. Also, one of the things that really worked for me this week is like just did a brain dump, just dumped all my ideas into a document in one place. I'm also making it into a thing that I'm going to send to my clients. So if you guys want, you can check this out. I'm going to share this with you guys. Usually I like to send these things to clients because it makes my life easier to extract ideas from them. So yeah, this is something that can help you probably with creativity in general as well, because so much of content is like based on visibility. I would like to actually go to a couple of things I wanted to say during Yasmin's session, but then I was under the impression he has limited time with us, so I did not interrupt him. The first thing I think that I picked up on is how he mentioned the thing about distribution first and then service and then skill. And majorly, I want to talk about how he put distribution first. And I agree with him on that. I don't know about majority of you, but there are way too many skilled people out there who don't know how to attract an audience simply by virtue of being who they are. They're extremely smart and they're not able to do things that feel more appealing to a general audience. And I have had a lot of exposure to experts in the last few years. And what I've realized is that their brains perform at such an optimum level, they don't understand what the general public relates to. So 100% attracting distribution is very, very difficult. Okay. Another thing in general I want to say is that being an influencer or a content creator is not very much something people respect even today. I think recently this video of Kareena Kapoor was going pretty viral because of the way she said influencer. And uh, on that, I want to say it's very difficult. It looks very easy, like when you see Apurva or like very these popular profiles, like they are just having fun and being so popular. You feel like it's very easy life, but also behind the scene, I'm sure there's a process of making a script that actually people want to watch. Because if you try to do something like that today, you might not be able to do it. So distribution build karna, it's definitely something extremely difficult. So you have to learn how to do it. And it's a mix of generic content and niche content. Sometimes generic content as well, sometimes niche content as well. Need to know both. Okay. If you check out my profile, you'll always see a mix of both. Okay. Which is not like, do you think it's my choice to dance on Love Bomber, baby? No, not yet. But I know it's going viral. Okay. So let's, we're still live on YouTube. We should have probably start. But I really don't understand. Like, there are sometimes people who are like, how the fuck are you dancing? I have to. I mean, or also I don't have a big problem with dancing, right? There are things I have a problem with that I won't do. Okay, for example, I would probably not make sexual jokes online, but there are people who are very happy to do that. There's a guy called Easy Snippet, and his entire feed is full of like some, clickbait, which is slightly sexualizing, and then he goes into his own thing. Okay, it's not aligning with my values, but if you don't have a problem, you can do it. I don't care. Okay, it's your life, your choice. But building distribution is very difficult. Not everyone is able to do it. So it does not give anyone the right to disrespect those who are able to do it, that too consistently. One of the things that I must say about Yasmin, or I can only say that about very few content creators also, very few people are able to sustain their popularity through years, passing years. As years pass, relevance decreases. And the other day I was reading this urban case study on how like people don't become household names like they used to, even in the US, right? But and that's so true, because with the reels and everything, the connection is very difficult. So yeah, I think Yasmin was right about distribution, but you also have to improve your skill. I think you cannot sustain that, because after one level, it doesn't really work anymore, right? Because if your skill is not supporting your distribution, then you will not be able to make it work. Okay. Another thing that I wanted to talk about from the things he picked up is he said that I used to post and ghost, and it reminded me of the time that I used to post and ghost. Okay, so basically, I used to follow certain strategies, but then I didn't used to check things or check messages or to carry forward conversations. Um, and I realized the underlying reason is that if I go to that post and now I see that somebody is saying something negative, and the hire karna to dur ki baat, they're not even like saying something positive to me, then I'll feel really bad. So then the psychology is let me not even look at it, because it's like the ostrich syndrome. If you can't see it, it's not there, right? So I have done that a lot too. I have posted and ghosted like crazy. Okay. So if that's happening to you, you do something, but then you don't check up on it, or you don't do it consistently, just remind yourself that it's gonna happen. You have to make your mind ready for that. Like, you have to be ready for that. I still remember for the first time when my mentor told me that I have to go and post in a Facebook group about my successes to attract clients. The first time I did it, and there was some guy who just said, Jay, okay, if you're so successful, why are you sharing your strategy in this group? I mean, I understand but then for someone who was starting off, that was a very hit. But then वो एक comment के ऊपर अगर मैं base करके छोड़ देती सब, I wouldn't have anything I have today. So you have to develop a very, very, very thick skin if you want to make it big in the long term. Because तभी एक कोई बोलता था, आज 10 लोग बोलते हैं. And भगवान करे कि 100 लोग बोले in the future. Because of course, it's something that comes with a lot of reach. Okay. So you have to be mentally prepared for that. So don't post and go, see what's happening. Okay. Um, Also, what else did he mention that I thought I wanted to talk about? Is there anything that anyone else wants more clarity on the things that he spoke about? I'll be happy to pick one of them up. Uh, um, Distribution, I mentioned. Sales, there's a very, very good book called Little Red Book of Sales. You can read it. It's a hardcore sales book. Okay. Also, try to watch Varun Maya's recent video where he tire ranks a lot of work jobs, and that was a killer video. Um, I'm not sure about that framework, surprisingly, but I will definitely check it out. Should we stick to one platform initially? Yes, 100%. You should stick to one platform initially. And these days, I personally feel even school is a very good platform. School.com, SKOOL.com. You can find the groups that are related to you, the free groups, have thousands of members. And those are like much more niche than generic Facebook group. But that's not a strategy that I use actively. So I can't be sure about it yet. But it's pretty good. Matlab, I have seen it's better than an average Facebook group for sure, at least engagement wise. So you can check that out. School is very, very good, right? My partner, he's trying to focus things on things like coding, AI, and ML. I just keep encouraging him to go to those groups. You make connections and network with the people there. Very nice groups, very interesting groups. So if you have a certain industry which is pretty high in demand, you'll probably find a good free group there, and then you can probably contribute to the community. Chris Do, the DO, that's the name. Uh, Last couple of questions I will take. Good questions. Um, a lot of you have watched it. Very good. There's already a lot of content out there. How do you create something that others haven't? By leaning into your own experiences and leaning into your things that are happening to you. You cannot create content that's new if you don't have new experiences. So, for example, when it comes to getting clients, right? And this is something that I have seen very much reflected. I think anyone with a little bit of acumen can look at my profile and tell which content piece is done by me and which one is not, because there's such a stark difference. But it doesn't matter in the longer game. So it's better that I outsource a little bit. But if you see that my content is always very different from the content that my team creates, because my team has generic knowledge and they'll pick up the generic 3 ways to get clients and everything, which is great. Like the beginners need that. But my nuanced approaches come from my real experience, right? So, for example, lately I had a very unique experience when a prospect asked me to turn on my video. So I ghosted the client. Okay. And it sounds crazy. Okay. So this is a content piece that no one else would probably think of making because it happened to me. So when things happen to you, then only you can think, acha, I can probably write about that. Or acha, I can probably post about this. Okay. So you have to go out and get some experiences. Otherwise, you cannot think of new ideas. So new ideas don't exist in isolation. New ideas also don't exist by doing searches on your competitors or seeing what content other people are creating. New ideas come when you put yourself in new situations. So yeah, that's the next piece of content I'm going to make. Why I didn't take a client because I had to turn on my video. And see, I have a lot of opinions on that, right? So I have chosen this life very actively so that I don't have to turn on my video all the time, so that I don't have to be ready all the time, so that I'd have that freedom. Now, if I am not taking that freedom when I have the opportunity, what is the difference between me and another employee who has to listen to the things that the boss says all the time? This flexibility to choose is, of course, going to be there. Okay. And whenever I do something like this, there are other reasons also I've rejected clients. So people are like, okay, it's $1,500, maybe you rejected. What if it was for $15K? I wouldn't have rejected. Okay. That's the plain answer. Okay. I don't know what people think. 50,000 होता तो शायद reject नहीं करती. ठीक है. But ठीक है, that was the one. That is my privilege. That's how much my privilege is allowing me to do. Okay. So I have earned that kind of privilege now. So same for you. Maybe you have the privilege to host a certain project, not the one to, uh, ghost other ones. Okay. Also coming on the topic of privilege, right? That's a very, very interesting, that's also a very interesting insight that I feel like talking about lately, because a lot of times it's like either the privilege is not acknowledged or there's a lot of hidden privileges, right? I think that is something I talked about in a recent video of mine. Is my hidden privilege 100% has been that my mother is a housewife and I had the space when I was living with my parents. I wouldn't have to think about what to cook. I didn't have any sick family members that I had to take care of. And the privilege is not like somebody coming and giving me a project. That is not a privilege. Privilege is the absence of those obstacles. Okay. And yeah, good internet is also a privilege. Very good. Yeah. So now that you recognize that, okay, that is also a privilege. Okay. So maybe that can be a content for your next post. So the moment you start thinking very critically, new content ideas would come to you. Okay. And I think that's really important. Or for example, like a lot of people make a big fuss about the fact that I made money at 21. but I've been working since I was 17, actually since I was 15. So मतलब 4 years में हुआ है. मतलब it's not like I got born at 21 and then I had a killer success. I also failed very badly at a few things. So, but fair enough. I think I do also don't talk about my failures. But okay, I absolutely sucked at a few things, which is fine. I mean, I've tried more things uh, than most people have. So makes sense that way. But yeah, privilege is something that I really, really want people to probably understand, at least, if not acknowledge. At least I like understand, right? I think that's something that I've only appreciated as the years have grown since I've been living alone. And then I have my dog and I have to take care of her. And then on the days that I have a lot of work, I just realize ki maybe it would have been nice to have somebody always there for you. Uh, how much relevance do you give to AI? Yeah, it's definitely like if AI is gonna. So I'll tell you something I heard from a friend recently. AI is not here to take your job, but AI is definitely gonna change your job. Okay. And that made a lot of sense, right? AI आया है तो बहुत सारे jobs बने भी हैं, right? Lots of people are working in coding, creating new products. Okay, AI startups तो हो रहे हैं ना, मतलब some jobs will go, but some jobs will also come into the market. So you have to be on the outlook of looking out for the opportunities all the time. And yeah, how to find a mentor? I think the best way to find a mentor is to find somebody you really enjoy the content of or what they say. Okay, like I really think of Varun Maya as my mentor. Now I don't talk to him on a regular basis, but I just see the things he does. I stay updated with the things he does. Okay, and yeah, it's been very very interesting to learn things from him. Okay, there's been different mentors at different points of life. Like the today, if you think of me as a mentor, I really hope you get to a stage that next year you cannot think that way. So your mentors will also change with time because you will grow in life. uh yes, looking forward to tomorrow's session as well. I will see you tomorrow. uh and yeah, last question, anything interesting? Which funnel? We don't use any funnel builder, but our websites are on Webflow. Session is tomorrow. It's a book club session, guys. Don't worry about it. I run a book club, which is my passion project. So tomorrow I'm just discussing books on suicide. Okay. Right. And a lot of people think it's a bad topic, but it's not really. I read Veronica Decides to Die, and it was actually a very good book. And that's how I actually keep myself sane, because if I had to do social media for a living, I know that it's very, very difficult. Okay. All of you who are trying to make money on social media, it's extremely difficult. If you just get disconnected from your passion, you would, it will kill you, because social media is extremely draining. Okay. So I stay connected with mine because I run a book club. Okay. And I really enjoy talking about books, and I like reading a lot. Like if you can see, I have at least 500 books in this house alone, and I think 300 in my parents' house. So yeah, but just do the things that you really enjoy. And also this indirectly also helps me in coming across new ideas, right? When I was reading Veronica Decides to Die, there was a very nice passage on being monotonous. And that sparked the idea that social media in general is very monotonous. But does that mean we quit? Okay. Or do we try to make it beautiful in our own way, our little corner of the internet? Okay. And also like reading books gives you like those ideas, right? A corner of the internet. That's a new term that I thought of while reading. So yeah, I hope that you guys found something helpful in today's session. I hope that you liked my answers. I also would really, really love to have some very candid chat with you guys, probably talk about all the nuanced opinions we have, because I really liked how Yasmin shared his controversial opinions without any hesitations. I think I really, really enjoyed that. And I think we should definitely do that. Let's see. We will get together at Freelance 101 Academy next week, which is Friday. Okay. And maybe a few of the members who are at the book club, you will probably see me in the afternoon tomorrow, and we'll discuss suicide and literature. And yeah, today I was reading all the books. So there in my phone, Veronica Decides to Die. Then I have this book called Notes on Suicide out. Then on my iPad, letters from girls suicidal girls or something. And my boyfriend came into the room and he was like, "What is going on? Are you fine?" I'm like, "I'm just doing my research." So yeah, being a literary person makes me feel very, very happy. I Want to Die a Night, the book is a very good book. Uh, Name of the book for sales, Little Red Book of Sales. Little Red Book of Sales. How to manage multiple clients effectively. Manage two clients effectively, you'll be able to manage more clients than that as well. It's just a matter of increasing it slowly. Don't oversell at one point. I think a lot of people do that, so then it goes wrong. And I think, yeah, guys, please watch Varun's video after this. I would highly recommend you guys. Like, I have really, like, the way he speaks or puts things into words is very, very good. I think it was Unstoppable Optimist by Kofi. I know the guy. I forgot the name fully. So yeah, I'll try to get these as a note by Neha for the Freelance 101 community. The rest, Unbroken Optimist. Sorry, Unbroken Optimist. Thank you so much. And thank you very much for joining today's session. I will leave you guys be and go to a good night's sleep. And yeah, I'll see you guys probably soon.